Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and today I have two things that I have been telling you for 2 years. There are two different examples where it's so in your face that yes, we've been right. We have been right, we've been right, we've been right. And I'm going to show you those two things in a minute. I am having my coffee. Now, I don't think I've mentioned this week, but I told you a couple of weeks ago, I diagnosed myself. Mr. B had told me about this fasting thing, and so I tried it on a dime where you only eat for 8 hours of the day, and I started it. So I would not eat until 12, and then from 12 to 8 o'clock at night I could eat, and I didn't eat in any of those other hours. What happened is my body went into like a sugar shock, I guess, or like where my body was low blood sugar or whatever, and I didn't realize it. So I started having these massive headaches. So what I told Mr. B I was going to do, I went online, and it's amazing what you can find on YouTube. And so what I found was that you can the doctors tell you to phase into it. So now I start eating at 10 o'clock, and so far I'm eating from 10 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and then I'm going to phase myself in so that I get back up to 12 to 8 o'clock. But so far I'm having no headaches doing the 10 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So far so good. Now I'm probably not losing the weight I would be losing going 12 to 8, but it will get there. Don't you worry. So anyway, but right now it's 8:51 and I am not really that hungry right now. So, in fact, Mr. B's trying to call me, but I was going to do this video first. Okay, let's get it going. This is from Bond Crypt, and by the way, we do have our announcement that we're going to make. We do have our announcement, which is I'm hoping we can do it today. Mr. B and myself and Brad Combs, we do have it's going to be really cool. And I'm hoping we can do it today. And we were hoping to do like a 3-way live stream. I don't know if we'll get to do that or not, but in one way or another, you will find out about it. Okay, from Bond Crypt, OKX to launch XRP, USDT, ETC, USDT futures trading pairs. The said pairs are scheduled to go live on the 4th, which is today, 4th of December. CEO of OKX, Jay Hao, revealed that this latest feature was a hit. So that's what you call more liquidity, folks. Michelle Vandenberg sent me this morning, and this is where it looks like things are going to go. Looks like the United States is going to make stable coins, bring stable coins under the securities label. And so, and that's what the Digital Optimist, let me make sure I follow him. Yeah. The Digital Optimist says it looks like the Securities Act will be changed to include stable coins. Huge news. And he's got a link here that takes you to this. This is from Congress's website. And it says they call it the HR 5197, Managed Stable Coins or Securities Acts of 2019. So, looks like they're going to bring security. I believe they're doing this because this is going to make it easier for companies like one of the companies I'm about to show you, who are obviously getting into the stablecoin business. Now, let's see, and I wanted to show you this too. This is from Tony Valentino, and I think that he said this about as well as you could say it. The trap is set. The over-the-counter gates are closed, getting very close to witnessing the herd being forced in via the exchanges, which will force heavy upward pressure on the value of XRP. Time to slaughter the pigs in the equity markets and force them into the alternatives. Now, this is kind of what I have felt all along was going to happen, and I've told you all that this is the way the wealthy stay wealthy. I've described to you when I was a financial advisor how when they were coming out, like when a new stock was being underwritten by Morgan Stanley or a Merrill Lynch or a Goldman Sachs, the way that game works is they do what's called an initial public offering. They call it an IPO. And when they do an IPO, their wealthy clients get access to that IPO even before it goes public. And then they do a road show around the country or the world, really the country, and they talk about this new stock to the investors, and then all the wealthy people and institutions are able to get in early, and then it goes public to retail average Joe. Well, that's what we've said for quite a long time, and that's what he's describing here. We spent 2018, and all of the media told us that digital assets were risky and scary and for money laundering, and this was going nowhere, and it was all going to go to zero. That's what they told us for all of 2018, for those of you that were here. During that time, that's what I was saying. I was saying, no, they're all buying over the counter right now. They were telling us that, and that was the interesting part. They were telling us that the Harvards and the Yales and the wealthy were buying over the counter, that over the counter, which doesn't reflect in the retail markets, they were having record numbers of buys behind the scenes. Is it not obvious? Is it not obvious that what he's saying here is what has been going on? All of the wealthy and the institutions have been positioning themselves, and they've been doing it really for about 2 years now. Well, so yet the last 2 days, we see that Ripple is now more or less, they have $1 billion that comes out of escrow every month. And for the last 2 years, that $1 billion comes out of escrow. They sell much of it over the counter to institutions and wealthy or whoever's buying over the counter, which goes into those categories, or banks or central banks, who knows? Well, now for the first time, that $1 billion comes out of escrow, then it goes right back into escrow. And what he's saying here is now the over-the-counter gates are closed, and they're not closed worldwide, but he's making the point that all these people are finally parked. And this is what I have believed, and I still believe it. This is the greatest setup in the history of finance to make a killer amount of money on if you've had the guts to sit where you and I have been sitting. And we did have the guts, and you should pat yourself on the back. All right, now to show you something, I hate to say I told you so, but just watch. So it begins. Andy Cross is a Seahawks fan and sent me this. Apparently, look who's advertising over the Seahawks games. Rabel, calls of the game. Bittrex, 90 plus cryptocurrencies, lightning fast, industry leading security, kickoff into crypto. So they have gone full throttle into advertising for the Seattle Seahawks games. Do you know what happened? Do you know what I've been telling you? You are going to be wrapped in digital asset advertising, whether it's Bittrex or Coinbase, who knows? I don't even, maybe it might even be Ripple doing advertising, but you will be wrapped. And in the United States, you guys over in Europe, this may not be a big deal to you, but it is a big deal because the NFL, the National Football League, is a big deal. It's one of the biggest deals in the United States. This is one of our biggest sports. So watch closely because here it comes. Okay, now, this is from this. Let me see if I can remember. Okay, yeah, I wanted to show you this. This is from XRP Bullish Vegas. This is my buddy over in Vegas, Funky Bad Chad. He sent me this from Tenatoshi. Let me see if I follow Tenatoshi. No, I don't. Now I do. The liquidity index for XRP, PHP, Coins PH, ODL payments into Philippines got started. They're showing the volume right here. Now, let's get to the interesting stuff, folks. This right here, I actually told King Solomon I almost want to cry here. So let's go over this and show you what I'm talking about. This is from King Solomon, a definite follow at XRP_Al. Deloitte, largest professional services network in the world and Ripple partner, doesn't think crypto is going anywhere. And he's got a wink there. Now, in 2020, wealth managers to push alternatives investments. Tokenized securities will force new custodial solutions for digital assets. Now remember, we were told for all of 2018 that this was just a risky money laundering thing, all these digital assets. And we continued to tell you here and other channels that no, that's not what's going on. What's going on is these guys are positioning themselves. And what I've told you from the beginning of this channel, when I told you I used to be a financial advisor, what I told you is that this is a new asset class and that before it is over, not some, but every financial advisor will be adding this to the portfolios, both retail and institutional, and it will be somewhere between 0.5% and 5%. Crypto, digital assets will be that large, if not larger, a percentage of the portfolios across the world. Okay, so now I've been telling you, let's look what Deloitte, one of the probably the largest professional services network in the world, says about this. 2020, this is an article, this is December 3rd, yesterday. 2020 Banking and Capital Markets Outlook, fortifying the core of the next wave of disruption. So let's see what they say here. Lastly, wealth managers should follow the money to attain long-term growth. Greater expertise in alternative investments, including private equity, real estate, and digital assets, such as tokens and cryptocurrencies, will be important in whatever those letters mean. As they seek to diversify their portfolios. Moreover, with rapid increases in private wealth, Asian markets cannot be ignored as a potential client base. What have we always said? Asian markets, XRP will rise from Japan, Korea, Asia. That is where the real action is. Finally, the advent of tokenized securities will push some custodians to design new digital assets custody solutions. Custodians should think long-term to safeguard native crypto assets and provide full-service custody solutions. There you go, folks. And I think I may cry on my microphone here because this is exactly what we've been saying for 2 years. Excuse me. I don't care what everybody's crying about the prices or XRP right now. This is the big picture. This is a new asset class. I've been screaming it to you for 2 years. This is what's happening. Deloitte knows what's happening. Deloitte is a huge player in this whole industry, and they're in the know on what's happening. Now, I'm going to finish with this because this is huge, okay? This goes right hand in hand with what I just told you, okay? This is from XRP Crypto Wolf, okay? XRP Crypto Wolf sent me this. Global custodian bank State Street cut over 100 blockchain jobs as a part of a pivot from transforming its plumbing with DLT to instead supporting digital assets. They're more focused on cryptocurrency, stablecoins, and custody and USC, utility settlement coin. Now, let's look at what they're talking about. State Street, this is from a CoinDesk article. The global custodian bank has taken a new direction with its blockchain strategy and cuts scores of developer jobs in the process. People familiar with the situation said the focus is now more on digital assets such as tokenized stocks and bonds through to cryptocurrencies. And think about what Sologenic is doing, folks. They're focusing on tokenized stocks, and Sologenic is showing that you can use the XRP ledger to do just that, rather than heavy lifting work of replumbing front to back office with distributed ledger technology. Well, who has been replumbing front to back? Who's been behind? Brad Garlinghouse said that Ripple was behind the bank firewalls. Ripple has been redoing the plumbing and laying the tracks. Now look, go down to here. This is an interesting part of this article. This is about State Street. They are moving away from this giant in-house DLT initiative, the source said of State Street. They are more focused on digital assets, stablecoins, custody, and the U.S. utility settlement coin being developed by bank consortium Finality. Okay, remember this. We'll come back to this. First, I want to show you who State Street is if you don't remember, because I've covered them before. This is all you need to know right here. It is one of the largest asset management companies in the world, with 2.511 trillion under management and US $31.62 trillion under custody and administration. It is the second largest custodian in the world, and they're focused on digital assets now. Okay, now let's go back and say it one more time. So they're focused on digital assets, custody, and utility settlement coin being developed by, so that they're developing a utility settlement coin being developed by the bank consortium Finality. So let's look at this. Finality. I went to Finality, okay? I want you to look at the Finality shareholders and see if you recognize any Ripple partners in here. Banco Santander, Bank of New York Mellon, okay? ING. Look at the site, MUFG, NASDAQ. There are many of these companies that we know are working with Ripple and have been for a long time. And I'm not saying the ones I just named are all. I think they are all, but I'm not positive. I'm pretty sure just about all of them that I just named. I know Banco Santander is, and I know MUFG is, and I'm pretty sure NASDAQ is. NASDAQ, by the way, has, as I recall, some kind of partnership with SBI for feeds from SBI virtual currencies, as I recall. Don't quote me. But the reason I wanted to show you this is to show, and then I wanted to also show you this. This is a slideshow from this website, Finality's website. If you go to the front of the page, you can go and watch it. This slideshow here, key ingredients for tomorrow's markets. If you go and you look at this, 2019, it shows all of these the different fiats and the money, and then it goes from 2020. And they're basically, if you go and you look at this thing, they're talking about how blockchain is about to take over the whole thing. Then they show you this slide, if I can get to it. The Americas, that's Europe, I guess, APAC, Banco Santander, Barclays, Commerce Bank, Credit Suisse, ING, KBC, Lloyd's Banking Group, UBS, BNY Mellon, CIBC, NASDAQ, State Street, Mitsubishi, that's MUFG, Tsukumoto Mitsu Banking Corporation. Well, folks, as I've said before, look under just about any financial rock, and somewhere you will find Ripple, okay? Go look under all of those financial rocks, and you will find Ripple under many of them, if not all of them, okay? And I'm not saying, now, these guys are, Finality, this is a bank consortium, and they're creating, I think they're creating their own stable coin. But to think that Ripple and XRP is not somewhere in the mix, and won't be somewhere in the mix of the flows of what's going on here, and be somewhere in the flows of custody and all of that. And while I'm thinking about this, I always like to mention PolySign. Never forget PolySign. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that everything we've talked about for the last 2 years in terms of the wave that is that digital assets that's coming, it is coming. We've been right all along. Every once in a while I come across, someone would send me something that literally almost brings me to tears, because I know, everything inside of me knows that I was right about all of this stuff, and we are right. I believe we're starting to see all of these stars align. So it just makes me happy, and it just makes me continue to buy the dips. Thank you for listening.